Yeah.
I don't know if we're on there.
So, yeah, so. Hey. Can ask her where red gilt came from.
Do it.
Can ask that girl where red gilt came from.
Once again, we need a Class 2 all-black cross to get to the ring, please. Class 2 all-black cross, please get to the ring.
We've got 3 entries from Eli Miller. So he's really coming after that all-black cross division champ. Got one headed to the holding pen. Got another one on the scales.
Yep. 12 entries here. Looks like he's got 2 going to pin up. Another one on the scales.
Rick, you don't got anybody pinning them. I think somebody pinning them. Nobody on the gate. He's got 4 so far. 1 on the scales, so that's 5. Getting back into the groove of things here in the Crossbred Gilt Show. Again, all black Crossbred division. I think maybe the Texas National is the only one or started having this class for these solid black hogs that maybe don't stick out quite as good as if they've got a belt on them, but have an all black cross champion and reserve champion that'll come back and show for the overall top 5. In one class of these, so first and second here will be grand and reserve champion.
Someone is missing their debit card. It just might be up here at the announcer's table. So check. If you're missing a debit card, come up here and identify yourself, and we'll see about getting it back to you.
Okay, looks like he's found 6 up here towards the top end. He's going to redrive here in our first class of the Crossbred Gilts. And I believe this first one that comes out is Allie Bridges from Seminole County, Georgia. Appreciate them coming. I'm assuming they're getting ready for Perry, Georgia.
5 light crosses to get to the ring, please. Once again, that's Class 5 light crosses. Please come to the ring.
Young lady comes out in a blue sweater, nice gilt. Another young man brings another nice one out. Got pinned right off. And I said I think we've got 3 Eli Miller entries, so I'm thinking maybe this might be one of Eli's. Hadley Reeves comes out next. Multicolored shirt.
Nice group of 6 out there in the ring.
Yeah, this was a good breed yesterday, and the solid black bears were really good. So anxious to get in, dig into these crossbreds and see how they match up like they did yesterday. But they're a very good set to start with.
Looks like he's got him pinned down to his top 3.
Here he is on the mic. Quick.
We jump in to the first class of crosses, and I would tell you, if you don't find our class winner, we probably just don't need to be friends. This young lady in the green needs a start. That thing's is so timeless in terms of her kind. The bend to her arm, the set to her shoulder. She is so fresh and maxed out in terms of her presentation. She's got a very, very good hip and hind leg working in her. You know, comparatively to a couple others, we could intensify her in terms of the size of her arm, maybe square up just a pinch as she drives right at you, but that's getting critical on one that does some things that are so hard to do. Second and third's really close in my opinion, just because both these gilts kind of contrast in their type and kind. I'm going to side with the young man right in front of me to be second. I think this gilt's shape of her skull, how she comes out of the front side of her body, her edge to her back is good. Where I see her real advantage is even if she's not perfect in terms of squareness, she still has more chest. When she drives right at you, she takes a longer step out back. This young man's gilt in third. He does an awesome job again, her showed. And one that is another one that's maxed out in terms of skin and hair. This gilt probably has a better slope to her shoulder, probably has more bone and feature than the one that precedes her amongst this drive. I didn't read this gilt as busted open underneath in terms of her skeleton from front to rear. I didn't see her just probably as long stepping in terms of her hip and hind leg. The one that comes out next is another one that's really sharp about the shape of her head. She's got a big square chest floor, a good shape to her arm. We got to rein her in terms of hip hock to ground, lengthen her hip just a fraction to go ahead and move up. This one that comes next might be the stoutest skulled and the broadest headed one of the initial 5. I just read this gilt more upright and straighter about her hip and hind leg. She too is another one we could lengthen out through her hip. The one that rounds out the class is one that gets a pin awfully fast because of her ability to be tough looking and to be long stepping. Of the initial 6, though, needs to be squared up the most off both ends of her skeleton. She too is a shot rounder in her muscle pattern.
Nice division there. We'll have your results here shortly.
Yep, now move into the light crossbred division. Have 2 classes of light crosses. First class has 15 head in it, goes from 190 to 218.
And here are your results for the all-black crosses. In 4th place is Rylan Hamby. 3rd place goes to Bradley Cavazos. And your champion is Allie Bridges, and the reserve is Eli Miller.
So that champion all-black crossbred gilt, Allie Bridges from Seminole County, Georgia, gilt bred by Wilbur. Reserve champion all-black cross was Eli Miller from Burke Burnett, Texas, gilt bred by Young Livestock. 3rd was Bradley Cavazos from Lubbock, Texas. 4th was Rylan Hamby from Taylor, Texas. And 5th was Hadley Reeves from Hyco, Texas, for the gilt she raised herself. So congratulations to our top 5 in our all-black cross division as we start off our crossbred gilt show. Now moving in, like I said, to the lightweight crossbreds, or light crossbreds, the lightweight class, 15 head, 190 to 218.
Probably all right. What you getting? Nice class here of lightweight light crosses. Like we said earlier, 15 in this class, so a rather large class, but Judge has already peeled back one that he likes. There's another there. Girl in the green sweater crossing the ring. Nice division here at Crossbreds. Like we said earlier, the weight range is from 190 to 218. Likely that we saw some of these ones yesterday. It's always a good experience to be able to get them out and show them once, but to get them out and show them twice, that's even better. While we have a second here in the light cross drive, I'll go ahead and thank some of our sponsors here at the Texas National. I want to thank Second to None Awards, Adams Fab, Primo Feeds, the Law Office of David Chumley, Dual and Prevailing Genetics, Flatland Show Pigs, RW Genetics, Sullivan Show Supply, Wintex Farms, Punch, Young Livestock, and Riverstone Vet Group. Thanks again to all those lovely sponsors for their contributions as we dive back in here to the lightweight light cross division. Looks like we've got 4 pigs already penned up. I think there's 3 waiting to get weighed.
A little bigger class here, and we elected to weigh 7, and we're going to work back through those. Let's give these kids a pump up as they head back. These Gilts probably need change on either end of their skeleton in a spot or 2.
Judge is going to go ahead and release part of the class. Looks like he's keeping back 7. Got 1 that still needs to go on the scales. Went ahead and got that gilt on the scales. Looks like a good opportunity to thank our ring help here today at the Texas National, Rick Whitman and the Taylor Fort Stream team. They're doing a great job.
many did we keep in this class?
Kept back 7.
7 in a class of 15, and the light cross is our first class of light crosses.
Yeah, one of them got pinned up a little later. She was a little reluctant to get on the scales, but we got her.
So what happens when you show gilts?
At this time, we need a Class 6 of the light crosses to get to the ring.
Not touching that one, Kate.
Again, that would be
Nope,
Class
I'm going to
6
leave that one out in the
light
air.
cross.
I'm going to let you
Ladies
sit with
are
that
coming
one.
to the ring.
You know, we tried to show Gilts once, didn't we?
Yeah, we did one year.
Yeah, what year was that?
Like 1800.
I believe that was 2020, was it not?
I don't know. It wasn't very smart, though. Don't let a barrel feeder try to feed a gilt. We may not even been barrel feeders. We're pig feeders. A little bit of a couple different kinds out here, but a nice set.
Yeah, got kind of a sandy colored one on the far side, some darker blue ones.
I know we've got a few of these that showed yesterday, but a few kiddos out here again. So we got Dawson Chumley out here, young man in the maroon sweatshirt, young lady here in the green sweater. I believe that is Bentley Burns. Got Kate Hikus from Olathe, Kansas out here. She's in a pink sweater. Few of them from yesterday anyway. If you didn't hear earlier, we were talking yesterday. Entries have been up all weekend at the Texas National, but yesterday we showed 465 head of prospects. Today we've got 424 head total showing, 257 gilts, 167 barrows. So good numbers here at the Texas National Stock Show. Again, like we talked about with that weight break, 199 and down yesterday and 190 and up today. So if you've got some hogs that are hovering around 200, which a lot of them are as they're headed towards different shows, you could take that same individual and show them twice. So works out good for a good weekend to get a lot of time in with hogs and just get them away from the house and maybe one last time before you go get home and dial them in for your final end point. Those numbers are a 27% increase from last year's show.
Judges got it narrowed down to 4 of them. Now 3. You got a favorite one out there?
I do. Do you?
I think so.
Took a shot longer here on this class of blues, and I think it's because they have lots of quality, but they got so many differences in terms of their type and kind. I just staying true to what I've done so far. The one that's probably the most built right in terms of width of chest, set to their shoulder, one that I think is the squarest as they come right at you, is equally impressive in terms of when they leave you, in terms of width and how they use their rear leg. Young man in the center of the ring needs to go ahead and start. The young man to my left with the blue gilt is going to be second, and I won't lie to you, there's parts of me that want to use this gilt to win this class because of her look, her proportions, her balance from the side. It just simply put, when they drive right at you, she has to be better in that view. Equally leaving you, I'd like to just bring her in just a fraction more. But with that one from the side is so good. We just got to make her more genuine in her width from front to rear. The gilt that comes here in third, the Tamworth colored one, it looks like they tried real hard fitting this one, and I appreciate that. As the drive wears on, it looks like the sugar's kicked in, and she's starting to get tighter. This is a stout scald, rip-backed one that's still long enough hipped. We just got to make her looser off both ends of her build. The young lady's gilt that comes here in 4, there's been times I've had this one worked all the way up in the top pair because her ability to be sound and comfortable from the side, I really admire that. And of the initial 4, I probably prefer her shape of her head as good as any. But when you step in behind the livestock, she needs to be squared up just a pinch more. I didn't see her height to length ratio as unique as those that preceded her. Similar things can be said about this one. Another round-ribbed, comfortable gilt from the side. I like to change her height to length ratio a pinch. More importantly, when she drives right at you, I'd like to pick her up in terms of her front foot and square there. The one that comes out next was really a problem child for me because, you know, at home, if we're feeding them, this one has some real unique feeding value in terms of the shape of her skull, the size of her arm, her shortness of her body length. With that, it all catches up to her. She's the straight-shouldered gilt. That's the shortest hipped option. We got to just flesh her up in the center part of her cage to go ahead and move her up. The gilt that comes next gives you a really good first impression from the side in terms of her look, balance, and silhouette. She's got to be squared up on both ends of her build to go ahead and move up within this drive. An interesting class of blue, definitely could allow a lot of discussion.
And here are your results from Class 5 of the Light Cross. In 4th place, Bentley Burns. 3rd place goes to Talon Marita. 2nd place goes to Heaton Woodson. And 1st place is Cooper Homan.
Now showing our heavyweight light crossbred class. 14 head in Class 6 light crossbred. Weight ranges from 222 to 282, so big crossbred gilts in this particular drive. Top 5 in that last class, Cooper Homan from Comfort, Texas was your class winner. Heaton Woodson from Conroe, Texas was 2nd. Talon Marita from Antlers, Oklahoma with a buckle-up gilt was 3rd. Bentley Burns from Muleshoe, Texas was 4th, and Dawson Chumley from Sherman, Texas was 5th. So congratulations to our top 5 in the lightweight light cross class. Now judging the heavyweight light cross class, and after the completion of this class, we'll pick a Grand and Reserve champion light cross, and then we'll move into our dark cross division. We've got 4 classes of dark cross gilts. Like we've got one weighed and sent back to the holding pen. That's Scotland Whip. Got 3 of them now pinned up, 1 on the scale, so that's 4. Again, 14 head in this class. Head total, so I think we're lacking 1 to come in. Got 5 pinned up now. Just sent 2 more to the scales. I think he's going to keep 8 head in this particular drive out of 14. So redriving 8, sending the rest back. Nice set, though, here in our heavyweight light crossbred division. Along with the prize money that's given out in these classes, there are also scholarships available. A lot of these kiddos can come and show and kind of up their ante each year and get max out on scholarships. More information on that, visit their website or reach out to the Forts. But lots of scholarship opportunities for these kiddos here at the Texas National. We begin to redrive this top 8 again. Again, heavyweight light crossbreds are what we're in, what class. As soon as we finish this, we'll bring first and second back from that first class and show for a Grand and Reserve Champion light crossbred gilt.
At this time, we need a first and second from Class 5 of the light crosses to get back to the ring for the championship drive. First and second place from Class 5 light cross, please come back to the ring.
There, we've got all 8 back out here to redrive. Blake will work his way back up and find us a class winner. Nice set of blues in this particular drive, or mostly blues.
Per usual course of the day. And if you're hungry and if you're also thirsty, check the concession stand. Everything over there is good. I can tell you that from personal experience. They got some great food over there, so if you need to eat, head over to the concession stand.
Again, our judge, Blake Danner from Chalmers, Indiana. Appreciate Blake making it down. Enjoyed watching him do the purebred gilts and now the crossbred gilts. He's going to wrap up his day doing our Market Bass show as well. So appreciate Blake coming down. I know we incorporated it with a pig shopping trip, so that worked out well for him and his new wife, Mallory. So appreciate them coming down. Always good to get a different opinion. Yesterday we had Kyle Hicks do our prospect show. Kyle from just up the road, but did a really nice job. Good judges always at the Texas National.
A good class of lights to go ahead and round out on. And I think the young man right in front of me is the logical place to start. This gilt does so many things really ideal in my opinion. Her ability to be good looking, attractive, and proportional from the side. Her hip and hind leg is absolutely ideal in my opinion. I'll be the first to admit, I'd lay her back in her shoulder just a pinch, but that thing does a lot of things right, and I'm very, very comfortable with her to start. A lot of discussion within 2 and 3, in my opinion. I'm going to side with the young man to my right to be next. This gilt is maxed out. She's dressed to impress. I love the shape of this thing's skull for a show pig. Comparatively back to our class winner, you know, she might probably be stronger about her front foot placement. With that, she comes with a shot more crest. I didn't read her hip and hind leg just as flawless as our eventual class winner. The young lady's bluegill that comes here in third has a lot of class merit in terms of stoutness, feature, bone, one that's still strong-footed. I read her as square and genuine from front to rear, as any of the remaining of the class a really good textured gilt. You know, we'd like to clean her up in terms of her crest and drop her in her body wall, but a gilt that I think definitely has quality in terms of bone and feature. The Calico gilt that comes next is one that's really comfortable, really basic, and fault-free in her kind. And I could see this one being some people's class leader just because she is sound and comfortable. With that, she needs to be bigger about her chest. She needs to be bigger about her arm. I'd like to honestly change her hip design just ever so slightly to go ahead and move her up. This bluegill that comes next is probably the freak within this drive. Extremely stout and bold about her skull, extremely fleshy and fluffy over her mid-body. She's as impressive leaving you in terms of width as any. With that, I didn't see her as genuine in terms of her width from front to rear at the surface. We got to change that to go ahead and move her up. Young lady that comes next does an awesome job getting the skill showed. With that, I really did this one just the most artificial in terms of how she's built, in terms of her condition, her bone, and her feature. I think if we rip the paint and glue off of her, we'll probably see a different outcome in terms of her presentation. The one that comes next is extremely sharp and good looking, one that is extremely level in her lines, and I like that. She's really square from front to rear. Honestly, she's a nickel bit of a problem child for me, because with that, she's a longer headed, bigger neck type gilt that I just didn't see balance as good from the side. The one that comes out next is one I thought needed a pin just because of her basic build from the side. We got to give her more width at the surface. We got to just make her shot more unique in terms of her proportions from the side to go ahead and move her up within this drive.
And here are your results for Class 6 Light Cross. In fourth place, Bradley Cavazos. Third place goes to Shelby Brown. Second place goes to Tucker Smith. And in first place, Jackson Kane.
Now showing for our champion light cross out of that lightweight class, we bring our class winner in from Cooper Homan. And out of our second class of light crosses, Jackson Kane that just completed. Jackson from Temple, Texas.
Class 9 of the dark crosses to start coming to the ring. That's Class 9 dark cross. Please start coming to the ring.
Also have our seconds in the ring as well out of the lightweight class. That was Heaton Woodson from Conroe, Texas, and Tucker Smith from Leander, Texas.
We dropped our first and second to the blues back out, and I thought these kind of just rose to the top in terms of having the right height to length ratio, build and balance from the side. And amongst that, we try to keep them good at the surface. And honestly, the one that's going to go ahead and prevail and be champion, I see as genuine as any young man out of the second class is going to have your champion. For reserve, it becomes really close between that second place gilt and this first class winner. There's one that just comes with a few more extras in terms of how she ties out the front side of her body. She might be as wide underneath as any of them amongst the blue division. The young man out of the first class. Well, the second place gilt here to my right is going to be reserve.
We kept that pair out of the heavier weight light crossbred class together. So your champion light cross exhibited by Jackson Kane. Reserve champion light cross exhibited by Tucker Smith from Leander, Texas. So congratulations to them.
And here are your final results for light cross. Your champion is Jackson Kane, and the reserve is Tucker Smith.
Now move into our dark crossbred division of 4 classes of dark crosses. First class is 14 head, so 190 to 193 is a weight break.
For Class 9 of the dark crosses, please, Isabella Ketchum.
And if you're just tuning in, appreciate you tuning in to the Texas National Stock Show. If you've got others that you'd like to make aware, if you're watching it on one of the Facebook feeds, on one of the Facebook pages, it would be Texas National Stock Show or Taylor Fort. You can also go to their websites if someone doesn't have Facebook, so you can let them know, taylorfort.com, texasnationalstockshow.com. You can catch the live feed there on those two websites also. Off and running now with our first class of dark crossbred gilts. Again, 190 to 193 is the weight break here. Got 14 head in our lightweight dark cross class. Already had a few of them hitting pretty hard. He got 3 sent to the scales and headed to the pins.
And once again, all champions and reserves must get their pictures taken. Can't get your scholarship unless you get your picture taken. So all champions and reserves, please head over to the photo backdrop area if you have not done so already.
Got 4 pinned. Grabbed another one, headed to the scale, so that's 5. Again, 14 head in this class. Going to talk to a few of them. I think go ahead and send the rest out, but I know he's got 1 on the scales, 5 in the pen, so 6 for sure kept. Yeah, that's what he's going to do. He's going to go ahead and send the rest back and then rework this top end here. In our first class of dark crossbred breeding gilts, again, 14 head total, keeping 6 to run back through. Weight range here, 190 to 193. Have 4 classes of dark crosses. Then we'll pick a Grand and Reserve Champion Dark Cross, and we'll roll in and do our top 5 in our Crossbred Gilt Show. First one coming out is True Creole, down here in Newcastle, not far away. Next one out is Ava Luke. Ava's from Beaumont, Texas.
To head to the ring. Once again, that is Dark Cross Class 10. Start coming to the ring, please.
I don't have this boy's name yet, but a nice cross gilt he's got. Young lady comes out with a predominantly black one. Oh, this one kind of pinned pretty quickly. I believe this is Farrah Wilkinson from Lavernia coming out next. And then we've got Haven Creole. from Newcastle. Good set here in our top 6 in the lightweight dark cross class. They're falling together pretty handily for him. He's put 6 and 5 back.
An interesting class. This is Ort amongst the first class of darks, and I think it just comes down to personal preference. There's a lot of quality of these initial 4. I'm going to side with the young lady in the purple to my left to be first. That Gilts squareness from front to rear is ideal. Her ability to be maxed out and prop up a good look from the side. I think she does that very, very well. You know, she's maybe not the cleanest on the front side of her pole or the longest in terms of her hip. With that, I think she combines the most totals in terms of width, functionality, and the shape of her body. I think it gets really interesting from there because, honestly, it probably doesn't make sense within a judge's perspective in terms of how they look from the side. Then my second favorite is the young lady sock-footed gilt closest to me. That gilt's ability to be really loose and agile. She definitely probably has a class-leading advantages. I just can't convince myself when you get her from the side that she just balances quite good enough compared to that eventual class winner. And then of the initial pair, I'd like to change the shape of her skull just a pinch and blend her a shot more over her loin. Third's going to be a young man to my right. And if this one's your favorite, it wouldn't surprise me because this thing's stout and creased up. She's extremely square and mobile on both ends. Just as the drive wears on, I couldn't convince myself that her proportions and balances is what this guy's looking for. More importantly, I didn't read this gilt truly as big about her arm as what our eventual class winner was, but a stout skulled, maxed out gilt that's got plenty of width. The one that comes here in 4, there's some parts and pieces of this one as good as any amongst the drive. This view here is the type and kind that we honestly strive to build at home. It's just when she drives right at you, she has to be improved in terms of the width of her chest and the set of her arm. This sheet, too, is a longer skulled gilt. If we could change those 2 things, I could definitely move her up in a hurry because that thing's build, balance, and proportions from the side, and she's got an absolutely gigantic rear leg. The gilt that comes here in 5th, honestly, it mimics what a stout brood sow should look like in terms of skull, arm, and bone. She's got enough hair and got some shape. She needs to be lengthened out of her hip for this guy. The one that rounds out the drive, it probably does have some advantage in terms of balance and proportions. She's an up-headed gilt that's really comfortable. She's the least genuine in terms of her width from front to rear. That's why she lands here in 6.
And here are your results from Class 9 of Dark Cross. In 4th place, True Creole. In 3rd place, we have Jackson Kane. 2nd place goes to Ailey Sims. And in 1st place, Ava Luke. And Kelsey Wells, you're in Class 10. Kelsey Wells, we need you in the ring right now.
She's there, I think.
Back now with you on our second class of dark crosses, Class 10 overall in the Crossbred Gilt Show. In your 14 head here in the Class 10. Get it probably narrowed down to about 6 or 7 like you did in the last couple of classes. But top 5 in that first class of dark crosses. Ailey Sims from think he announced them, but I want to go back through them and see if we've got any breeders to recognize. Ava Luke was our class winner from Beaumont, Texas. Ailey Sims from Stephenville, Texas was second. Jackson Kane from Temple, Texas was third. True Creel from Newcastle, Texas was fourth. And Farrah Wilkinson from Lavernia, Texas, with a gilt bred by Dustin Ham, was fifth. So congratulations to our top 5 in the light crossbred class. So now showing that second class at Art Crosses, again 14 head. Kate, I got a trivia question. I don't know if you know this or not, but do you know there was True and Haven Creel in that last class? Do you happen to know who their famous uncle is?
Their famous uncle, and they're from Newcastle, Texas.
Correct.
Trying to think of who in the world is famous from Newcastle, Texas.
Well, he is known all over the world.
All over the world.
Yes. Old Son.
Old Son.
Yep.
Cy?
No, goodness sakes, wrong show.
Old Son.
World famous rodeo celebrity.
Oh yeah, I'm well in tune with the rodeo community. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, he is one of the biggest ones. So Dale Brisby is their uncle. I don't know if you've heard of Dale Brisby, but most everybody else has.
Oh, Jiminy Christmas. Okay. I was gonna say Riding for Lane. I don't know.
I think his claim to fame is he's got more 100-point bull rides than anybody ever, but not sure. So, little history that you learn when you come to a pig show. Class 2 Dark Crosses now got 4 stuffed back in. Got 1 coming off the scale and 1 going on the scale. So he's got 6 he's liked already here in this class. Pretty quickly found some nice ones, didn't he? He's talking to a group that are still out here in the ring, getting ready to send them back. But got a nice class of Dark Crosses.
I'm still just in shock you hit me with Dale Brisby trivia.
Dale Brisby is almost as popular as the spotted breeder on the end of the table. Who's not even listening, but Brady Jennings just raised the champion purebred spot gilt that happened to be the champion overall gilt both days here at the Texas National Stock Show. Guess he's been back there working, so now he's come up here to sit and watch the pig shows. Man of the year out of the gilt show. Oh no, I'm not going to give any. I can't give any of that promotional. He's saying something about a man of the year and Titan. I don't know, but I do know I had one from him last year that was a pretty nice show pig. So
yeah, I'd say that gilt's getting along pretty well so far.
nice set here in the top end of this class. Like I said, he found 4 or 5 real quick. So excited to see what he gets here in this Dark Cross class. Class 2, 196 to 210 is our weight range here.
Yeah, one thing about Mr. Danner, he's worked very efficiently today, seems like. He knows what he likes and he goes out and gets it.
This young man out here, I don't remember him being here yesterday, but that's a very nice gilt that he's brought to this show. Couple of new faces. Again, they can show both days. They are 2 different days. Day one is a prospect show, 199 and down. Day 2 is progress or kind of a market show, so 190 and up is your weight range for that. So there's the differences there, but a lot of these hogs get to show both days. Young lady in the black sweater's got a nice gilt in this class.
A couple here with some give and take.
You know, we noticed it yesterday and we talked about it a little bit today. I mean, hogs are just good. I mean, we off air yesterday talked a little bit about the fact that, you know, for us to do this hobby, you have to kind of feed a good one, and it costs a lot to do it. So, you know, a lot of these, whether you've got a little help finding them or feeding them and tuning on them, I mean, it's definitely become a very competitive game.
Yeah, and anymore what I've noticed is the quality of the families that are out here doing it. I don't think I knew how to show until I was at least 15, and I see 8, 9, 10-year-olds out there showing better than I was when I was a senior. Just something to think about. I think you've got a great saying. It was from early in my show career. I think we were at Fort Worth, and I had showed one and got a ribbon, and I was excited about it. What did you end up saying to me?
We were in Houston, and I didn't. That was a pretty bad dad moment.
The young man on the far side of the ring needs to go ahead and start. And I just think when you start totaling them up, that's a stout, broad, dense gill that is as accurate in her skeleton as any. Just a good logical place to start. Second and third's really close in my opinion. I actually prefer this young man's gilt to be second. She's a tall-fronted, good-looking, attractive gilt. She's kind of hard to just analyze and read through her fit job a little, but she's busted open about her chest and pliable about her center body. I didn't read her rear toes, and Duclaw said as appropriate as what our class winner was, she too isn't just probably as impressive when you step in behind them. The young lady in the orange sweater is going to be next, and this gilt's really stout and dense in her mid-body. She's of the initial trio, though, is the shortest stepping off both ends of her skeleton. I think that's just due to that she's a rounder built gilt. She's more upright about her shoulder. Young lady's gilt that rounds out next, you know, probably one that didn't just hit me extremely hard off the bat, but she grows on you because her ability to be comfortable off both ends of her build, have a good shape to her head, and one that's compositionally is probably really right for Texas show season. It's just when she drives right at you, I got to pick her up about her front foot. I would like to trim her neckline up just a pinch as well. This one that comes out next, the spotted up gilt, is very impressive from the side design and profile. It's when you start studying her from front to rear, she's got to be more genuine in her width. If we could bust her open in her chest in relationship to her width out back, I could definitely shuffle her up in a hurry. Real stouty that rounds out in one that I think could be really fun back in the breeding stunk pens. A good shape of her head, a big arm. She's really maxed out in terms of feature, muscle, and hair. I just never read this gilt to get organized enough in her balance to go ahead and move up. If we had set her down in her spine, we could definitely shuffle her up in a fast hurry.
Here are the results from Class 10 of the Dark Crosses. In fourth place,
Good class there. Class winner.
third place, Oakley Cudd. Second place goes to Brody Hurley. And first place is Oakley Cudd.
Sorry, kind of took away from our main announcer there doing the top 4, but Oakley Cood from Brownfield, Texas wins that class. Brody Hurley from Denton, Texas, second. Oakley Cood was third from Brownfield, Texas as well with a Brockman gilt. Fourth was Talon Tosh from Harper, Texas. And fifth was Mason Rayborn from Carrollton, Texas. So nice top 5 in that second class of Dark Crosses. Now we move into our third class of Dark Crosses, class 11 overall. 13 head entered in this class. Again, we'll probably do similar to what we have been doing and keep a top end of 6 or 7 heads. So congratulations to those Class 10 winners. Really nice set. Going to be a very competitive Dark Cross drive. But again, we're in the third out of 4 classes, Class 11, 13 head out here. don't have any trivia for you, Kate.
You don't got any more trivia?
I don't have any more trivia, not right now. But we almost had a fight behind us because we got the spot gilt breeder, and then Casey Mabry had the reserve champion, his daughter, with a Berkshire gilt, and they were kind of wanting to battle it out back in the back. So both very, very nice gilts in that purebred gilt show, though.
Yeah, they're both good. This ain't their end point, so no need to fight today.
This should all be new hogs, I'm guessing, out of Class 11, 214 to 252. Pretty big weight spread, but maybe a few of them we saw yesterday, but for the most part, new set here in this dark cross class gilts. Pretty unique colored one this young lady in the black sweater's got. Jet black, little maybe white on from the legs, it looked like.
I'm guessing that kid over there, that doesn't count as a mullet, does it?
That
Kind of
unkempt. He just needs to go to the barber.
It really is bothering me that our mullet counter is only at 2.
I'm proud of it. I'm glad we're taking better care of our hair. So we've got 4 now pinned back. 1 coming off the scales, 1 getting ready to go on the scales. So he's found a nice set here as well. He's got 5 in, 6 on the scales. May keep 1 or 2 more, but still studying. They hit him hard. They get some sent to the scales pretty quick, doesn't he?
Yep, he's been sticking to his guns. Make sure to tell some of the folks that he excuses as well, what they can improve on. Here's our judge.
A good class of crossbred gilts, and we elected to work back through 8. We're going to release these 6. They all probably need change in a spot in terms of their hip and hind leg. Pump them up as they head back.
Again, he kept 7 now that he's going to rework, and another big dark cross class. So good setup here towards the top end. Anxious to see them back out and driving. So got 1 more class of these dark crosses, and then we'll do a dark cross drive, and then our overall top 5 in the crossbred breeding gilt shows. I believe this girl from yesterday's show got a different colored shirt on, but I think that's Carolyn Reynolds. Oh.
Yeah, I think I only know 1 for sure.
I think this is a new showman today, young lady in the yellow sweater. Nice gilt. This is the one I thought was kind of uniquely colored. Berkshire, maybe synthetic Berk generator later on down the road.
Young man with a mop top brings out a nice belted looking one.
I do know the next one coming out. It's one of the Pugh girls, Kaylin Pugh.
And we need a Class 12 of Dark Cross to start coming to the ring. Once again, that's Class 12.
Kind of sandy calico looking one right there.
To the ring.
Nice group of gilts.
7 ahead. He's got 1 place back in, so now he's working his top 6.
Went ahead and placed 2 more pretty quickly.
I think he's got it down to 3.
Yeah.
He might already have it figured out. I don't know. It's parched. He's got to have a drink of water.
Yeah. He sent a smile and a knowing glance up at the gallery. I think he's ready to go.
a good trio to go ahead and land up on top of this class. And the young lady in the yellow needs to start, in my opinion. This Gilts' ability to have a real proper ring presence with some mobility. She's still got some width and power. I think she's pretty logical. Second and third's really close, in my opinion, because they both have a lot of breeding value. On the side with a belted Gilt to my right, I just read her probably more immature in her neckline. More importantly, she's probably just take a longer step out back in terms of her hip and hind leg. With that, she's a rounder built Gilt in terms of her neck and how her pin set lays on her body. If we could change that, well, there definitely would be some discussion. Berkshire appearing Gilt here that's going to land here in third is no doubtly the broadest, densest, most powerful Gilt amongst the initial trio. She too is relatively good looking from the side. I just need this Gilt to be a shot longer about her hip and probably just laid back and to set to her shoulder just ever so slightly to go ahead and move her up. The thin belted Gilt that's next is good looking out front. She's leveling her design from the side. And we need that Gilt to have more chest and more length of hip. This Gilt here probably has that advantages in terms of width coming at you. She's a bolder bodied, fleshier type Gilt. She too is long hipped. I just read this Gilt a shot more ordinary from the side in terms of how her neck lays on her body. More importantly, when you step in behind her, she just kind of wants to kick and flip out back. The one that's next is a stout built Gilt that's got some shape and power. She too, I would like to raise at the point of her shoulder just a pinch. More importantly, she's a rounder built Gilt in terms of her hip and hind leg. If we could make that all right, a very interesting Gilt. The one that comes out next is probably neater in terms of her height to length ratio and her build and her proportions. With that, of the initial 7, she's the shortest hip Gilt that's the straightest in her hock placement. If we could change that, I definitely think she's one that's got some value in terms of look and design from the side.
And here are your results for Class 11 Dark Cross. In 4th place, Christy Parrish. 3rd place goes to Haskell Hoertz. 2nd place goes to Kaylin Pugh. And in 1st place, we have Adeline Gunn. Don't forget to visit our fine vendors that are here with us this weekend. If you need some Champion's Choice oil, you can pick that up just to the south of the broadcast table up here. And if you're looking for clothing and fashion, you can get that at Lula's and at Chrysalis Hope Custom Hat Bar and Boutique. And if you're looking for some quality knives, you can get those over at the Red Pony. Got a special running on pocket knives and Damascus blades, and they've also got some other gift items there. And if you want some really creative and pretty repurposed materials, well, then you need to go over and visit the Red Barn Creations 605.
Okay, we enter into our final class of dark crosses, class 12 overall in the Crossbred Gilt Show. 14 head in this particular class. Weight range from 259 to 365. So some big girls out here in this particular drive. That top 5 in that last class, class 11 dark crosses. Class winner was Adeline Gunn from Temple, Texas. Second was Kaylin Pugh from Ackerley, Texas. Kaylin's Gilt was bred by Chad Day Show Pigs. Haskell Hoertz was third from Zephyr, Texas. Christy Parrish was fourth from Stephenville, Texas. And fifth was Tylee Green from Boyd, Texas, with a Gilt bred by Nathan Ray.
Already got a couple here peeled back in our heaviest division of the dark crosses.
Did get a text on our light cross. Of course, we don't have information on all of these hogs when they turn in their cards, but Corey Jonke texted me and wanted us to know that that reserve light cross gilt today was one that he raised, a heavy hitter on a take cover. So congratulations to John Key Show Pigs on raising the reserve champion light cross here at the Texas National.
Looks like we got 2 in the pins. I know he's peeled back a few more. They're hitting the scales. A couple of interesting colored ones. Third one makes
I figure
sense.
this will be a pretty big finish here at the Texas National. This day 2 is kind of the progress or the market show and the big breeding gilt show. So I would expect this set will be pretty good here as we finish off our day in the Crossbred Gilt Show with our final class.
He's got 5 in the pin and a 6th one on the scale. In the pin are some familiar faces. Looks like he's gonna release a few of them.
Rings cleared out now. We'll redrive the top 6 here in our final class of dark crosses as we wrap up our dark cross drive. Completion of this, we'll come back in and pick our Grand Reserve Champion dark cross. Then we'll reload our pins and show for a top 5 overall in the Crossbred Gilt Show. A wild colored one comes out, and she's kind of wild in a few areas. Big gilt comes out next. Young man from New Mexico showing this one. Gaston Munson from Roswell, New Mexico. Gilt bred by Foot Farms.
Yeah, I think he brought 1 yesterday there in that prospect show, and I'm pretty sure it got along pretty all right.
Must have had a bigger set here. Yeah, you'll have a bear he'll show later on. Big old polka dotted gilt.
I kind of like the one that's about to come out. It's color pattern.
Coulter Winter comes out next with this gilt. Got her tongue stuck out, but Coulter's been showing here the last couple of years since he's been old enough, I think, and appreciate the Winter family. Winter Show Pigs, Wintex, I'm sorry, Show Pigs. One of our sponsors from the very get-go. Also, Will Winter is Punch Electrolyte, too, so appreciate their sponsorship of the Texas National since its inception.
Need to get you back to the ring to get ready for the championship drive. Once again, first and second place from classes 9, 10, and 11 of Dark Cross. Please come back to the ring.
I know 2 of these other kiddos out here are new ones today, but they brought a nice pair in an earlier Dark Cross class. The Cood kids from Brownfield. We got Bronx Cood out there with a kind of a half-belted gilt, and then that big polka-dotted gilt is Oakley Cood.
Got 6, 5, and 4 replaced.
Nice trio of big gilts.
Here's your judge here in a moment. Nice group of gilts. I don't really think you can go wrong with any of them. I'd be excited to see all their futures in production.
He's putting
A really good way to round out, and I'd say the heat definitely got here amongst this drive. And I would tell you, it's a top trio that honestly, if the other two didn't show up, I'd say I'd be pretty comfortable using that for a class winner. You jump them back out here, and you let them keep driving. I think it goes from a 3-horse race to probably a 2-horse race. Amongst them, there's one, and I think just a shot more unique in terms of their blade, their arm, their stoutness, and then their ability to still have a really unique look. Probably as good at the top side of their crest and as good at the bottom side of their neck as any amongst this drive, and ties out with the biggest set of limbs, still agile enough within this drive. The cheetah printed gilt's going to go ahead and win this class, in my opinion. Young man in the green to my right is going to be second, and this gilt has the advantage in terms of comfortability, length of hip, and set to her hock. And I would tell you, for those of you that want to fit show pick, this one's skin and hair is absolutely ideal, in my opinion. She is absolutely maxed out. Compared back to our eventual class winner, I didn't see her as unique in terms of her neckline. More importantly, I didn't read her feet just to be as big and manly as those one that are above her. This one that comes here next, this kind of off-belted, broken-belted gilt, when she comes through the chute, her first impression is to the nines. And honestly, until we got to the later part of the drive, she was my class leader because her ability to be sharp-looking, have an awesome presence from the side is so good. I didn't read that gilt as big about her arm. I didn't see her as strong about her front foot. As the drive wears on, she becomes a shorter stepping gilt. Young man's belted gilt that comes here in 4 is another one. It's really good looking from the side. She's broad and dense underneath. One that I think is extremely maxed out in terms of skin, hair, and presentation. She's a frailer featured gilt. She's a little off in terms of her loin. Similar thing can be said about this thin belted gilt in 5th. Another woolly one that's dressed to success in terms of presentation and body feel. I read this gilt the flattest about her front foot. And of the initial 4, she's actually the worst in terms, or the initial 5, the worst in terms of the set to her knee and chest view as she drives right at you. She too is another one that I'd like to just pick up in her loin to go ahead and move her up. The calico gilt that rounds out one that is wild looking from the side, got giant feet and big bones. I honestly just question for one of this size and where we're at in terms of maturity, if this one just has enough in terms of body line. More importantly, she just needs to get out here and grab a gear to move up within this drive.
And here are the results from Class 12 of the Dark Crosses. In 4th place is Gaston Munson. 3rd place goes to Bronx Cud. 2nd place goes to Coulter Winter. And 1st place goes to Oakley Cud.
Okay, we're back showing for our champion Dark Cross out of that lightweight Dark Cross class. Our class winner exhibited by Ava Luke.
Crossbred champions and reserves to head back to the ring for the Grand Championship Parade and Drive. Once again, all Crossbred champions and reserves, please come back to the ring.
Out of Class 2, we've got Oakley Cood.
Happy with the 4 class winners we get back out here. And for those of you that have been around the ringside, you probably know by my indication there was 1 class that was so good and lots of opportunity. You know, as a show judge and a pig fitter, pig breeder, it frustrates me when they get to be good big pieces of livestock and people beat them with little ones because it's so hard to get them to heavyweights. That cheetah is going to be your champion. You drop that second place back in, and like I said in class, you know, she was probably a longer hipped, bigger chested option, maybe not as unique in terms of her neckline, bone, or feature. You drop her back out here, though, and you total them up, she's probably as sound and comfortable of an option as we has. She is almost as intimidating when you get up close to her as any. She's going to be a reserve.
Grand and Reserve champion Dark Cross come out of that last class that just completed. They were Oakley Cood was your champion. Coulter winner was Reserve champion Dark Cross. Other exhibitor out there in that champion lineup out of Class 3 was Adeline Gunn from Temple, Texas. And our Class 2 winner was Oakley Cood from Brownfield, Texas. So now we'll reload. We'll get our Grand and Reserve champion All Black Cross, our Grand and Reserve champion Light Cross, and our Grand and Reserve champion Dark Cross.
For the Dark Crosses, your champion is Oakley Cood, and the reserve is Coulter Winter.
We'll take about a 20-minute break after the Crossbred Gilt drive. We'll do a top 5 here in the Crossbred Gilt. We'll take about a 20-minute break, though, and then start back in with our Barras show. If you know anybody out there that's wanting to tune in for the Barras show, be sure to get their options to them so they can know where to tune in. If they've got a Facebook page, they can go to Texas National Stock Show, their Facebook page, or they can go to Taylor Fort's Facebook page, or they can go to TexasNationalStockShow.com or TaylorFort.com and pick up the live feed from either one of those websites.
Brandon, for all our new listeners and people just tuning in, how about you give them a little bit of information about our judge?
Yeah, our judge for today, tickled to have him, Blake Danner. Blake Danner owns and operates Danner Livestock alongside his now wife, Mallory, and parents, Chris and Susan Danner. They operate 150 sows and maintain a good selection of boars in their boar stud. Danner Livestock's main focus is helping show families obtain their kids' goals to the highest degree. So was able to bring Mallory in a little bit ago. She made the trip with Blake, so we brought her up to do a real introduction of Blake, and she let us know that they help about 60 show families nationwide. So very busy doing that, doing what they love, doing what he grew up doing. She grew up in it too, so tickled to have Blake here.
All Black Cross, Eli Miller. If you can come to the ring, please.
Yep, should be a pretty competitive Crossbred Gilt drive. The divisions represented, they are pretty tough in it themselves. I'm excited to see them all out here together.
I don't know that we know for definite who the breeders were on those 2 Crossbred Gilts, but I'm going to take a guess that that champion Dark Cross was a Brockman Gilt. I hope I'm right. But I'm going to say the reserve Dark Cross was a Wintex bred Coulter winner driving it and exhibiting. So in that Black Cross division, the All Black Cross division, we've got coming back our champions Allie Bridges from Georgia with a gilt bred by Wilbur Livestock. Eli Miller was reserve champion from Burke Burnett and gilt bred by Young Livestock.
We need Eli Miller, reserve champion in All Black Cross, to please come to the ring. Once again, Eli Miller, please come to the ring.
Not sure who bred the champion light cross, but that was Jackson Kane from Temple, Texas. And then just found out Tucker Smith from Leander, Texas had the reserve champion light cross gilt, with a gilt bred by John Key Show Pigs.
While we've got a moment waiting, I do have some personal experience with the Danner family. Chris Danner, Blake's father, ended up taking us in there on our Louisville trip. Of course, I'm talking about the Texas Tech Livestock Judging Team. Big shout out to the boys. And we got to learn and sit and listen, really, just to Chris and all of his philosophies that he had, and it really helped us there going into the national championship. So, want to thank the Danners specifically if they're out there listening.
Yep, always a good stop at Danner Livestock.
Looks like we're getting the last of our breed and reserve breeds here. Start our crossbred divisional drive.
Again, we'll be doing a top 5 here in the crossbred division, crossbred breeding gilts. Introduce the reserves first. We got the reserve.
Oh. And Mike's not working.
Test. Testing. Test. Testing. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Test. It is coming through. Test. Test. Testing. 1 2. Test 1 2. Testing 1 2. I can see that it's picking it up.
It's through ours.
Testing 1 2 1 2. Test. Can y'all hear that? Testing 1 2. Or is it just me? Test.
It's not over the live, but it's on here. It's not over the live. There it is.
I don't know what happened. Speaker's gone out, huh?
Technology is great until it isn't. All right, we are ready to get started with the Grand Championship Parade. We'll start with the reserves. And first up is the AOB, All Black Cross Reserve, Eli Miller. And next we have the Light Cross Reserve, Tucker Smith. And the Dark Cross Reserve, Coulter Winter.
Got 3 nice reserves out here with a all black cross bred by Dan Young, exhibited by Eli Miller.
All right, if we can have the reserves clear the ring, please.
Reserve light cross, Corey Jonke raised, exhibited by Tucker Smith. Then Coulter Winter was a reserve dark cross with Wintex bred.
And now for our crossbred champions. We will start with the all-black cross champion, Allie Bridges. And move on to the light cross champion, Jackson Kane. And our dark cross champion, Oakley Cudd.
Showing for our overall champion Crossbred Gilt. We'll do a top 5 here out of the all black cross division. Of Alley Bridges. Gilt bred by Wilbur Livestock.
You jump these three back out here, and like I said, as we went through the day, I think we got a trio of champions that really resemble each other in type and kind. And I'm not saying all pigs got to be built one way or the other, but I do tell you that I do like them to be styled and to get them as mobile as we can, and then build them right from the ground up. When we get back out here, it probably shuffles down into a two-horse race. There's one just that much more intimidating in terms of bone, feature, and still a good-looking one, agile enough for a big girl. That Cheetah is going to be your champion. You jump that reserve dark in, and she sure jumps into the mix, and it probably becomes still a two-horse race with that. I think there's one that's so agile and comfortable, fit to the nines, one that I think has some advantages in terms of our eventual champion in terms of width of chest and set to the rear leg. That reserve dark is going to be a reserve.
Okay, so your Grand and Reserve champion Crossbred Gilt come out of the dark cross division. Exhibited champion was Oakley Coot from Brownfield, Texas. Reserve champion was Coulter Winter from Lubbock, Texas. Third out was your champion All Black Cross, exhibited by Alley Bridges from Seminole County, Georgia. Fourth out was your champion Light Cross, exhibited by Jackson Kane. Jackson from Temple, Texas. Now showing for fifth out, Crossbred Gilt. Fifth out, Crossbred Gilts, a reserve champion Light Cross, exhibited by Tucker Smith. Tucker is from Leander, Texas. That gilt bred by John Key Show Pigs. Again, we're going to take about a 20-minute break now after the conclusion of the gilt show, and then we'll start in with our Market Barris show after that. Stay tuned. You can kill us. Kill us for now. Go to their Facebook feed.
And here are our final results for the Crossbreds. In fifth place from Light Cross, Tucker Smith. Fourth place, also from Light Cross, that's Jackson Kane. In third place from the All Black Cross, Alley Bridges. And your grand champion, Oakley Cudd from Dark Cross, and the reserve grand champion, also from Dark Cross, Coulter Winter. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got our scholarship presentation coming up right now. This will include both the purebred and the crossbred. So if you are getting a scholarship, head on back up here to the ring. And we're going to start with the purebreds, and we will start with the grand champion. That would be Lindsay Lowry, $5,000 scholarship. And the reserve grand champion from the purebreds, that would be Reese Mabry, $2,500 scholarship. And third overall, Hadley Reeves, $2,000 scholarship. And now we head to the champion AOB, that's Cooper Homan, $1,500 scholarship. And Gentry Locke was the reserve, and that is a $1,250 scholarship. Oh, excuse me, reserve Berkshire. And our champion Berkshire, that would be Farrah Wilkinson, $1,000 scholarship. And our champion Chester White, Riley Elston, $1,500 scholarship. And the Chester White reserve, Drake Welch, $1,250 scholarship. That's not the one I'm worried about. First name. Raiden, okay. And third place in Chester White, Raiden Huggenberger, $250 scholarship. And our champion land race, Cole Kate, with a $1,500 scholarship. The reserve land race, Cash McCamey, $1,250 scholarship. And third place in land race, Presley Pinnock, $250 scholarship. And our reserve champion Duroc, Addie Hinwarden, $1,250 scholarship. And our third place Duroc, Addison Porter, $250 scholarship. Oh, there it was, I didn't see it. And our champion Duroc, that'd be first place, Class 17 Duroc, Madison Callan, $1,000 scholarship. Third place in Class 17 Duroc, that would be Hattie Butler, $250 scholarship. Yeah. And our champion Hampshire, Blakely Bottleberg, $1,500 scholarship. And our reserve in Hampshire, Harley Turner, $250 scholarship. And Emma Ott is our third place Hampshire, $250 scholarship. And our champion Hereford, Brigham Bottleberg, $1,500 scholarship. Our reserve Hereford, Paisley Oglesby, $1,250 scholarship.
Are you Paisley? Paisley? Thank you.
And our third place Hereford, Holt Sims, $250 scholarship. Our reserve spot, Kennedy Hicks, $1,250 scholarship. reserve spot, Kennedy Hicks, $1,250 scholarship. Emma Johnson is our champion Yorkshire, $1,500 scholarship. The reserve Yorkshire, J.J. Hamby with a $1,250 scholarship.
That's all our purebreds. So all the crossbreds.
That's all the purebreds, all you purebred scholarship winners, just hang tight. We're going to get to the crossbreds now. Our grand champion crossbred, Oakley Cud, $5,000 scholarship. The reserve champion crossbred, Coulter Winter, $2,500 scholarship. Third overall in crossbred, Allie Bridges, $2,000 scholarship. And Eli Miller gets a $1,250 scholarship for being a reserve all-black cross. Bradley Cavazos gets a $250 scholarship for being third place in all-black cross. Jackson Kane is our champion light cross. He gets a $1,500 scholarship. Tucker Smith, for being reserve in light cross, gets a $1,250 scholarship. And Shelby Brown, for third place in Class 6 in light cross, gets a $250 scholarship. Ava Luke, first place in Class 9 dark cross, gets a $1,000 scholarship. And second place in dark cross Class 9, Ailey Sims, $500 scholarship. And for first place in dark cross Class 10, Oakley Cud, $1,000 scholarship.
I think we got her twice.
Well, oh, yeah, okay. And Brody Hurley gets a $500 scholarship for second place dark cross Class 10. And for first place in Class 2 dark cross, Class 11, excuse me, dark cross, Adeline Gunn, a $1,000 scholarship. And for second place in Class 2 of dark cross, Kaylin Pugh gets a $500 scholarship. Third place in Class 11 dark cross, Haskell Howards, $250 scholarship. And Gaston Munson for getting third place in Class 12 in dark cross, $250 scholarship.
All right, guys.
All right, folks, we are going to start the Market Barrow Show in about 10 minutes. About 10 minutes is when we're going to start the Market Barrow Show.